serve, and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell. www.houseofreconciliation.org.
Seed that grows for soul winning. This word, bread of life, that I received today is not only for me, but to be shared with others, that they may grow in Christ as well as myself for the purpose of successful living. All right, thank you. You may be seated. I want to welcome everyone in and say good morning to the Mother Church, Greenwood campus, and also to those who've come out in person to the Greenville campus, and of course to our virtual campus, as well as our international campus. We thank God for you, as well as those that are across the country and the upstate that watch and share and post the lessons or the conversations, however you choose to deem them. We are happy and excited for you this morning. I may be a little hesitant because I just got something, a thought, I'm not going to say it's from God, that I think that will help us. We do plan to have communion on the second Sunday in September. I say again, as college students and the kids are going back, children are going back to school, this is a good book to get it now. And I know we're in the middle of August, but you can get it at your fine retailers because we're going to need it. With the economic status in the world, as well as our country and as well as our state, that is something that we're going to need, that helps you get your money working for you. I believe today is the second Sunday. And so today we have our youth who are going to learn more about finances. And so we're in the month of August. And our core theme has been for several years, connect, serve, and grow. Our theme for the month of August has been without risk, there's no reward. And I was asking in my little devotion about what is needed to be said to the people. And this is something, I won't say it's old, but something I visited before. And it was simple. Many are still stuck. And I was like, well, why? And so I just got the second piece of it this morning. It's because we don't see ourselves having a target on our back. See, when you believe and you try to do the right thing according to righteousness, rather than my own self-righteousness, as the Bible calls as filthy rags, then you have a target on your back. And I think many of us are concerned about the target and not the shield. Because there is a target, but because you are a believer, God gives you a shield. There's always grace and mercy in between the adversary and the believer. So I want to talk to you a little bit this morning about you're stuck. And I think many people don't understand collectively in the society that we live in is that we are being graded by God. It is not our pain that resonates with God. It's our ability to overcome that resonates with God. So we don't understand many times that the test that we're dealing with, that we're being graded, not only graded, but also being heard by God. And the problem is we want an immediate answer. And God has said to us, you haven't finished the test. So the thought this morning is, you stuck again, bro? You stuck again, sis? So here's what Job said in Job 16:18. I think his verse is 18 to 21 in the King James Version. It said, O earth, cover not now my blood. Sometimes the enemy will attempt to destroy you so bad, you feel emotionally, socially, Economically, you're bleeding all over the place. He says, and let my cry have no place. Sometimes you can try to seek God, but you just feel like there is nothing. And he says, also now, behold, my witness is in heaven, which means there's an angel that is assigned to record your progress in the midst of your situation, your test. It charts how we respond, how we react. And he says, and my record is on high. My friends scorned me, but my eye poureth out tears unto the Lord. So while we are in the midst of beginning to understand about transition, who's your best bud? Is it God? Is it longtime friends? People can give you information, but not help you deal with situation. I'll say it again. People can give you information, but not help you process situation. Here's what it would say. Number one, for those that are writing, there's about 10 things well, maybe 12 if we can get to it. Number one, pressure and stress is important to our development. It's important to our family development. It's important to our children development. Sometime as a mother hawk, we'll run and we'll cover them. But if life doesn't train them, then they won't know how to have strength and resources in the test. Pressure and stress is important to our development. They are there to stretch us. Listen to the key results. They are there to stretch us for increased sustainability. Look at how many trees fell over in the few storms that we've had, knocking out power for days. They wasn't rooted. And then some of them that were rooted, the wind twisted them so much that they snapped. There's coming a time in all of our lives that we're going to have challenges. The problem is we haven't really talked to God, built a relationship with God, so now it's just all situation. And so we hear the voices of people, but we don't have any level of communication with God outside of help me. So pressure and stress is important to our development. God weakens you to strengthen you. So now you become a witness. We've kind of lost in this area of being a witness before God. We've kind of lost the concept of take up your cross. Means take up your situation and show people if God can help you, he can help anybody. Does this make sense? So what it does is it increases our sustainability and profitability. You don't go through struggles and changes and transitions in God and never be rewarded. Many people quit before they ever get started. Because sometimes you see it in your feelings and emotions, and God's trying to address it in your spirit. And the way he addresses it in your spirit is through your intellect and intelligence, not your emotions and dysfunctions. Number two, here is a major reason. Most people are still stuck. God can't water what we haven't planted. You can shout, you can testify, you can give God all the glory. You can get in line for the preacher or the prophet to lay hands on you. But what is God going to water so you can grow? Because the ministries today, not all, but many, have you looking for a miracle when you need to be planting a seed. If you plant a seed, then you don't have to stand in the miracle line. If you plant a seed, You don't have to stand in the hope line. And so we have people more interested in poop manna. That's what I call it, because it's never produced again. So we're walking around 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And somebody real quick that's good in math, I think it's 168 hours in a week. You haven't planted anything, but you're hoping and wishing for a miracle. Now, can I give you one term of hope? Hope has no strategy. And hope is not a plan. Hope has no strategy. This is why we're still stuck. I hope they give me the job. I hope I get the position. What have you planted? What have you planted in yourself for increase? We'll take profitability, but we don't want sustainability. Well, why would God give you more and you're already on a sinking ship? God can't water what haven't been planted. Number 3, more people are focused on the sound of the moment rather than the substance of the future. I'll say it again. Number 3, more people. And so when I hear these, and I very rarely watch things, and I saw a guy, and he had the rhythm and the sound, and he was going on, and I sat down to listen, and everything he was saying was something that's already been said. And I looked at the people, and they're just sitting here listening to him moan and groan and scream and say all this stuff and tell us a good story. But there was no spirit and anointing. And sometimes we are drunk on the Kool-Aid and not high on the word. Does this make sense? So there comes a point in the period where many people are focused on the sounds of church, and we get happy and emotional. Happy and emotional and joyful does not give us sustainability. It is an emotional outlet from humanity to worship and praise God. But when you worship God, it's kind of like you have a little bit more knowledge of God. You're not praising him because you had air and you're tired this morning. That's a fixable offense. Am I correct? But y'all now, come on now. All right. Number 4. Here is what happens. Pastor, I don't want you to tell me the truth because the truth has no friends. I want you to tell me what I want to hear. And as leaders, we get drunk on the crowd. We get drunk on the masses because it makes us feel good personally. You shouldn't be in it for personal reasons. You should be in it because you're called, appointed, and anointed. So whether you're speaking to 3 or 3,000 or 300,000, your mission shouldn't change. And so because of humanity. Number 4 is, I don't want you to tell me the truth. Because the truth don't take a side. And when I'm wrong and you tell me the truth, now I take it personal. Oh, you talking about me. I don't like that. If it's the truth, what does the truth have to do with your feelings and emotions? All of us grew up with this fixational thing where they said justice is blind. But it all depends on who it is. Because sometimes some people can get away with a whole lot and you can get away with nothing. So here's what truth does. And so people get mad at the person, but if it's the truth, what's the problem? I don't want the truth. But the Bible says, for what? God is a spirit, and they that, come on y'all, wake up, must worship him. So truth is a part of worship. But it didn't say truth was a part of praise. Come on. I might sit here and let y'all. I'm just look over here. The devil can praise God. People can come in and put on a show. People come in talented. They can moan and groan and tell you all this. But the Bible said, try the spirit and know that it's of God. Not get hung up on the sound. How many of us have drank a wonderful drink and had no clue that it had 500 calories in it and was 35% sugar? Kool-Aid? Okay. All right. Number 5. Why are we stuck? It's simple. People want the same respect, but don't want to pay the same price. People want the same respect as those that are successful, but yet they don't want to pay the same price. See, to have some things and to be a part of some things, it comes at a price. People think because of their pain and because of their past that I should automatically be rewarded because I've gone through something. You said it. You got to do the work. Well, I just, I've had to go through this. I've dealt with this and I've dealt with that. And this happened to me in my childhood. That was then. So people want the same respect. People want the same respect of someone who put $4 million in the building. And they in a $2 shack but hadn't paid the price of a $4 million building. But I see that one didn't go over well. Number 6, you still mad, bro? You still mad? Sis, you mad about what somebody said on the job? You mad about what your supervisor said? Many people get mad about what I say because they take it personal. He talking to me. I didn't call your name. If the word hit your situation, you ought to thank God at least you were found. If you ain't ever found, then you're not in the word. The word comes to sharpen you. But you don't want no cutting, so you're like a tree that's planted in the wilderness that had never been pruned. Number 6, you still mad. Just mad. I'm going to tell you why you're mad. Because you missed the lessons. The lessons never went past your feelings and emotions. The lessons never went past the brokenness of the moment. The lesson never went past who said it. I can't believe they talked about it. I can't believe. So you're more focused on what you can't validate than things that have already been validated. So you're mad because you missed the lessons. Number 7, when you were supposed to learn from the lessons and not be trapped by the situation. You were supposed to learn. That fall, that break, that not going back and checking to see if you turned the water off. But now you're mad because water is all over the kitchen floor. So who are you blaming? See, repeat offenders are never in the top of the class. They're always at the back of the class. You were supposed to learn from it. How do I gather and extrapolate the proper information so I don't have to revisit this again? Am I making sense? Number 8, we want God to give a massive blessing. Number 9, when we have a tiny mind. We want God to give us this enormous. This is why people are so stuck on titles. They can't be people. They just stuck on, well, I'm this and I'm this and I'm. No, just be people. There's an old song, may the works I've done We're in the bathroom. We're in the restroom. And I got to call you a title. We sitting at the table. And you feel some kind of way. So what are you full of? The word, sustainability and profitability, or self? Well, what are you full of? Empty people always look to be validated. Empty people. They call my name. They did. Yeah. But then when somebody calls, oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. Shut up. Your selfish self. Always looking for recognition. Empty people are always looking to be validated. And some of us are drowning because we're trying to make them feel okay. You're missing the God piece. And you can be in church. You can be on the praise and worship team. You can be a minister. You can be a pastor. You can be a prophet. You can be an apostle. And everything is about you. That's why you're empty. That's why you're empty. Oh, I said August's going to be rough. You may as well tighten up your barrettes because it's coming. I ain't looking for no friends on this thing. Risk without rewards. Barrettes? Y'all don't remember barrettes? Doing now? Hey, people who need them. Yeah, because see, I want to give you the truth. The truth is not assigned to a person. The truth is assigned to who wants progress. The truth is not assigned to a person. The truth is assigned to who wants progress. So you want God to give you a massive blessing, but you got a tiny mind. And here's the whole point. Some of the blessings of God comes in on jumbo planes, and you got a tiny landing strip. So God has nowhere to land it. Because if you are unwilling to be stretched, can I make it plain? You don't have the space for what you're asking for. And if God gave it to you, you don't have the capacity because you're going to walk right in and do you. You're going to have the biggest chair. You want the most attention instead of doing him. Can I make it? Can I go there for a moment? Here is the lesson for everybody that want to be successful. King Solomon, who was a child, his daddy was a nymphomaniac and a killer. And God told his daddy, David, you can't build my temple. You have way too much blood on your hands. But I'm going to bless your son. So the Lord came to Solomon in a dream. And he called him Solomon. He didn't call him King Solomon. See, when you get to heaven, it don't matter about your title. God's going to say, well done, thou good and faithful. Oh, some of us going to be offended with Jesus. He's not going to call you bishop, archbishop, apostle, pope, potentate, Putin, scooters, judge. He going to call you good servant. Oh, what's up, bro? You made it. Ooh, as soon as I hear you made, I'm gone. I'm flying all over heaven. God asked Solomon in the middle of a dream, what do you desire? Because every now and then God would do a health checkup on you. And Solomon had just received all this power. He said, Lord, I don't even know how to go out and come in. But if you can help me govern your great people. See, some people use people as their stepping stone to satisfy themselves when they're empty. And so God was amazed that Solomon didn't ask for any wealth. He just said, I need the wisdom. And to this day, there are still people digging in the desert for what Solomon had. The Ark of the Covenant. Riches beyond any human can imagine. Solomon said, I just need wisdom to know how to govern your great people. So if you got a small landing strip and everything that you do has to feed you and not feed. So I always say this, and I've had bishops, all these people get upset with me. I said, right now, we wonder, we blame things on the pandemic, and the pandemic had a really great effect on the church. I said, but here's the issue. The neck is full, the head is full of blood, and the body is anorexic. Because most, not all, most leadership is about themselves. They're not about serving the people. It's one thing to manage the people. It's another thing to control the people. It's another thing to develop the people. It's another thing to walk with the people. And it's another thing to have authority over the people. You got to figure out which kind of leader are you. And so Solomon said, I just want wisdom to handle your great people. So God says, well, since you didn't ask for anything, I'm just going to bless you with everything you didn't ask for. Because what Solomon did is he positioned himself. If the throne wasn't about him, it was about leading God's people. And most pastors that you talk to, they'll tell you this how I want it. And have a fit if you park in their space. Have a fit if you sit in their seat. Have a fit if you step to them and try to talk to them. Because they caught up in image when the shepherd smelt like sheep. Every shepherd should smell like sheep. But here we go. Number 11. One of the reasons we stuck, bro, is because we don't want to improve our gifts. But yet we increase our demands. 10, we have a very small landing strip. Number 11, we don't want to improve our gifts. What does that mean? You have to go somewhere and practice. It is not that you don't have talent. It's the fact that you're not polished. You've seen many people who can sing, but they don't know how to sing. They don't know how to use their voice because they just want to grab the mic. Hadn't paid for nothing. No you said, well, what's the sacrifice? No input. They don't buy in. They just come in and expect for you to have everything, and you got this, and well, I want to say something. Go get your own mic. Buy your own mic. Go find your own PA system. Go find your own building. Go find your own building. You want to come in and criticize mine? You having church in your car, and you want to criticize me in my hood. And you can't see God, because if you saw God, you would see my house. Because my Father is rich. This is why I tell people, and they get upset and get mad, I know what God has called me to. And your small-mindedness is not going to stop me from getting my blessing. And you'll find out your true friends is when they find out that you're about to get a promotion, or you about to get a building, or you about to go to another level, and then they get offended. They get offended because they're not prepared. They can't support you. You can support them, but they can't support you. And some people make it competition and they feel like they always got to be on top. I don't care about being on top. My focus is being in the will of God. And if I'm in the will of God, I'm already with the top dog. So what do I need you for? What? So you control me based on your emotions, then you somewhere hallucinating. Hello? You're somewhere hallucinating. See, now here's it. Number 12. Did you got 11? Number 12. Stop letting people use you to validate themselves. Stop letting people use you because you need to be working on your gifts. You need to be practicing. This is personal, so I don't say a lot of things personal. But I have a grandson. And so throughout his whole life, he's been here 6 years, I probably haven't played a saxophone in probably 25 years plus. So one of the things I want to do with my grandson is I want him to see me playing. Even though he doesn't know the quality of sound, I've got to practice at least to rebuild my armature. I got to practice at least 3 to 6 months, maybe 9. So when I come out, I can stay on key. Give me something in a key. Now what key is that? You in A flat and I'm somewhere in F sharp. Because I'm just blowing noise. But if I practice, and I get the sheet that tells me everything is in A flat, then I should play the A flat notes. Correct me if I'm wrong. If we don't practice, we'll never get better. That's why you stuck, bro. That's why you stuck. You got the car with no insurance. That's why you stuck. You got $20,000 worth of sneakers in the closet and no insurance on you or your children. What's up, sis? You sitting at the house and can work, but you'd rather get a check that's going to keep you limited. What's up, bro? What's up, sis? No, what happens is you go get money from friends who have jobs. And when your friends don't have no money, then you go get a GoFundMe. But you want the same blessings as other people, but you ain't willing to pay the price. And so you manipulate other people to validate yourself when you hadn't done any of the work. You know, oh, okay, because I asked God, I said, Lord, you know, I got my little message, without risk, there's no reward. And God said, yeah, but they still stuck. Hey, what? Still stuck. He said, no, you need to have an honest conversation with people and say, it ain't what you want that's the problem. It's what you hadn't prepared to do to get what you want. It is not what you want that's the problem. It's what you haven't prepared for to get what you want. Because many people are standing around thinking somebody owe me. My daddy owe me. My mama rich, so they ought to leave me something. Well, who in the good cotton picking world had to work for what your daddy and mama got, and you're going to go and spend it all in 3 months? Because you're just a child, you the biological child. Just because you can spit and speak in tongues and sing and dance. I'm going to go ahead and just chop it down. You want to go to church for 40 minutes, 20 minutes and play the organ. You make $8.16 an hour, but you want the church to pay you $300 for only being there 30 minutes to play. And yet you feel like you want to go to another church that's going to pay you $305 because you're a musician and you feel like you get to get paid. How many jobs do you have that pay you $305 an hour? But you want to come into church and rob the church and hadn't put a penny in. No time. We don't know if you consistent. have any continuity, and if you're faithful. But now here's the problem, and a good attitude, because some people come in, they really gifted, but they nasty and they breath stink. I'm telling you. Because here's what happens. Let me make it real plain. Read between the lines. But you'll go to other churches and volunteer for a year just to see if you qualify to get on staff. But then you'll go to the small churches and you want to demand more. There are some churches pay the musician more than they pay the pastor. I'm talking to y'all. Because, and I asked God, because I asked God anything. I said, what are we doing? They sing and jump around for an hour and a half and then want to put the word on a time clock and wonder why they stuck. All right, the preacher, you only have 30 minutes, but the deacon can get up there and talk a half hour about nothing because he's the deacon. I'm the head deacon of the church, and I just want you to know that we're going to do this. And then the person that give announcement, they done took up 2 hours and 45 minutes. They want to get a preacher 15 minutes, want them to jack and shout and run around and whoop and holler, and then they still going to go outside and smoke cigarettes. Yes, I said it. And when the package they have that says this is subject to give you cancer, then you're going to go back and get in the prayer line and ask God to heal you something that you won't quit doing yourself. Yeah, I'm about done. I got 6 minutes. Y'all can turn the channel. Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent. How many is this? Okay, this ain't this many. The plans of the diligent. This is Proverbs 21:5 in the English Standard Version. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty come to only poverty. You stuck again, bro? You stuck again, sis? And I struggle with, I have a very, very strong male following. And I'm like, okay, and I'm not saying I'm tough on males, but I'm straight with males. You got to figure out if you're in the pack or you're an alpha male. And things don't make you an alpha male. It's when it's tough times you step up as a leader. And you're willing to stand by yourself because you know what's right. Whether the alpha female agree with it or not. Because if you're really an alpha female, then you'll understand your place beside an alpha male. You beefing, you barking at the wrong one. You don't have canines big enough to handle this alpha male. Because you got a place. And I know women get upset with that, but that's just the truth. So does men. Men have a place. And you can't have an alpha male and expect for him to act like a puppy. And back up. Crickets, crickets, crickets. I might have to find me a cricket sound. Here's what I'm going to say to you as I get ready to close. You have to put the time in to build your future. You're emotional, but you're not full of substance. If you were full of substance, whatever gift, just like me, I'm going to purchase a baritone, and the ones I wanted, the ones that come from the 50s and the 60s, that has a different type of metal, and it's going to cost money. See, you want to get paid, then you want to go get ready. Yeah, so you part of the 5 foolish. The 5 wise had reservoirs. They were prepared for the long haul. Delayed gratification. You want everything right now because you want to tell your friends, y'all see me? Hey, look at me posing. 3 words. Consistency, continuity, and faithfulness. You can't have what you won't build. You got to build your future. And your future doesn't come around us. Your future doesn't come in the middle of the pack. Your future comes in downtime, like God sent Moses behind the mountain for 40 years. See, you don't want no downtime. You just want excitement, my brother. You just want excitement, my sister. You don't want what you call emptiness. And before God can fill you, he has to cleanse you. And you feel empty when God starts cleansing you. You feel emotional and you're attached. And what you should do is let God drain you. So now he can prepare you. Does this make sense? Here's what happens. You don't understand your present. Your present is your toolbox. You actually have your freedom now to go collect the things that will pay off later. That's why, and I don't have time to get to it today, the Magic Johnson story is so powerful. He says, when you grow up broke, you take the money. And had he took the stock investment in Nike, he alone today would have $5.2 billion just in stock. See, many people are taking the short road. And I thank him for saying it, because your culture has an effect on you. What you're used to and what you're not used to has an effect on you. Your present is your toolbox. What can you start doing on Monday that will pay off a year from now? Because somehow society has taught us that we're supposed to walk in and everything's supposed to be in place. We don't get our hands dirty. We just walk in and everything's supposed to be in place. All of that somebody just donated and gave, and you just walk in and grab the mic and start talking. You want to sit in a clean building, but you don't want to clean it. You want people, so it's okay for everybody else to work. But you don't want to put no work in, but you want to supervise everybody else. The devil is a lie. Come try to supervise me and see what you're going to get. I'm going to be the worst employee you have ever had. Because I have a rule. If you didn't talk like that to my grandmother and you didn't talk like that to my mother, what in flippity flop flop you think you can talk to me like that? Because I'm a combination of Lud Boozer, Dr. Sally Campbell, and Pastor Lavinia Campbell. And you think you're going to come and run over me and I'm going to be scared of you? Whoo, you'll get choked right in the middle of the church. Yes, I said it. Because you probably ain't going to be a member no way. Yeah, see, this is the problem I have. People can cut you up, but you can't cut nobody back. The Bible says, turn the other cheek. I have turned it. Now my cheek is up. Now it's my turn. Let's give you this and we're gone. Your present box, that's your toolbox. What are you putting in it? What are you planting? What are you planting? People look at my little jacket and they're like, man, he got on a jacket. This jacket was made in 1943. Well, now I don't know how old are you. You about 99? 46, okay. This jacket was made before all of us was born. This jacket was made in 1943. I got it for $5 on a vintage sale. You see what I'm saying? See, you got to sacrifice, as Pastor said. Ain't nobody willing to sacrifice. I can look at some of y'all faces. It look good. Look like I got some Easter shoes on. All right. Number 3, real quick. Bruh, sis, you still stuck. You know why you still stuck? You have an inability to make your past your history. And history should be a reference. Your history, what happened to you in childhood, what happened to you in high school, middle school, what happened to you in college should be history. If it's still affecting you, it's not history. Last but not least, we're at a point in August that it's time to start installing a new you. Installing a new life. Once you start installing it, here's what you have to do. You have to prepare it for transition. And once you start preparing it and you get from transition to transformation, now you got to refine it. And once you refine it, now you have to polish it. And after you polish it, now you have to master it. You can't win just because you thought you were broken. You win because you're prepared. You don't win because you were broken. You win because you're prepared. Arrogance and cockiness is what takes you down. If you prepare to win, then you'll have sustainability, profitability, and what are the 3 words for the month? Consistency, continuity, and faithfulness. God bless you. I'll see you in Greenwood.